Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. Live from Austin, Texas, broadcasting worldwide, it's Alex Jones.
Folks, all security is a federal issue. That's the CBS piece, a part of it. All security issues. That means security at your golf club, security at your office, security at your house. No, there's a 10th Amendment. And it's not true. The airports have invited them in. And the Austin Advisory Commission voted 5-0 after the impassioned points to be against the scanners. But then the news tells you, but they don't have any authority. Well, why even have a city of Austin? Why have Travis County? Why have Texas? Why have Oklahoma? Why have Florida? Why have Nebraska? Why have California? Why have Arizona? Why even have a federal government when we're going under UN control? Now, I want to talk to Heather Fazio with TAG, out there doing a great job. There's an event coming up Friday. There's also one Saturday. But first, give us your take on this and your overall view of those propaganda pieces we just showed, how they just took the big victory, you know, of basically the city of Austin saying no. We're going to see what the council says, but their airport commission agreed with you, and now they're trying to spin it. I mean, why even have the airport commission then? If the feds are our king, I mean, do the feds tell me to tie my shoelaces so I don't trip and fall? It's a safety issue. I mean, do the feds tell me what color shirt to wear on Thursdays? I mean, do they tell you not to? I guess they are saying how much salt we can have and wanting to track everything. I mean, is this freedom?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me on.
Oh, great having you.
The problem is with this is that they're not acknowledging that this is our airport. That is what the author, Robert Torn, wanted to assert. This is Austin's airport. We decide what we want to do here. We know there's not a terrorist threat in Austin. The real terrorists are TSA, inciting fear among all Americans and making them so scared to fly that they're willing to drive, which is more dangerous than flying.
Well, what about Anwar al-Awlaki, head of al-Qaeda, hanging out at the Pentagon? What about him? They don't want to investigate that. They want to stick their hands down my pants and train me to be their slave.
Yeah, that's exactly right. No, it's absurd.
But they're gonna wear Santa hats, though. Isn't that cute?
That's very nice.
Hey, Ted Bundy. Was it Ted Bundy? Who was the one that dressed up like a clown, the serial killer? John Wayne Gacy. I mean, is it okay he raped and killed children because he wore a clown outfit? Is it okay if they stick their hands down our pants because they dress up like Santa? I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. No, they tried to tell us that we had an option, that these machines are optional, that you can opt out and that you can have a pat down. And I looked right at the TSA director, and how dare you suggest that we can either have a virtual strip search or be molested by federal agents? That's not an option.
You have a choice of two unconstitutional things. It's like you can have death by firing squad or electric chair.
That's how fair. Free country, right? So the next step, hopefully we're going to try to put political pressure. That's what it's all about, because ultimately they do say it's TSA's decision. And even if we do privatize, that's what people have been talking about, privatizing our security. Well, ultimately, when I talked to the TSA director, they would be managing private employees rather than their own federal employees. So ultimately, it seems right now that it's all about putting political pressure on the city council to pass a resolution against these, so that TSA will not deploy these body scanners.
Well, amazing. People obviously from all political persuasions across the board, Americans are overwhelmingly, I've seen Reuters polls of 96% against it. Everybody needs to go down there before that arrogant Lee Leffingwell, former pilot himself, and others, and tell them we want this out, and we want it out now. And to read you can read the mainstream New York Times articles about 50 times, 20 times the radiation, depending on the machine. They've been caught saving them. You can read how courthouses are getting them, got caught saving them. Just hit them with headline after headline. That's coming up Friday, and demand that they get these rapist scans. That's actually the name of the company. It's Rapid Scan, but we call it Rapist Scan. That these rapist scan machines not be put in. And by the way, now they're body scanning and then on top of it molesting. And down in El Paso, I have the El Paso Times. They reported a few months ago, everyone's being put through these.
Yeah, and it is time for action, and it is time for action locally, because the feds and international governments, they don't care about what we think. They made that evident with the bailout, which is what motivated me to get involved. We made 1,001 phone calls to them, and they did nothing. They still passed it. So that's why it's so important to get involved locally. On the local level, we need to be calling city council today and tomorrow is the biggest thing that we can do.
And take our counties, our cities, our state legislatures back. That's the peaceful redress of grievance that the founders put in there, along with the juries, the grand juries, voting. They can't stop you. You are the people. If you stop being passive and giving in, or having a defeatist attitude and pessimistic. We've gotten in this because of the pessimistic attitude. They want to laugh at us and tell us that resistance is futile. It's propaganda.
Yep, that's right. We don't need permission to live freely. Just do it. Start getting involved locally. Get involved with your county, your city. The Texas state legislature is coming involved. We can get pissed off about our taxes and about how the cops are acting, but when it boils down to it, we're just letting them pass this.
There are employees, and now we're going to take your blood at warrantless checkpoints. We're going to put face scanning cameras up all over Austin and license plate readers. We're going to stick our hands down our pants. These federal goons say they're going to land everywhere in the U.S. and on the streets. And I mean, it's total takeover.
Yeah, and it's unacceptable. And it's really time to activate. We need to stop talking about it and do something about it. And that's what Texans for Accountable Government's all about, getting involved on the local level where we can actually affect change, where we can see the fruits of our labor.
Well, I know, Heather Fazio, with the tag, that you came down here on short notice, but I don't know if you heard earlier in the hour or last hour, we were covering the fact that now all over the country, the unions are making the deal, just like the airports invited them in. It's not law, but they say, you're fired. You got to go to Homeland Security, get a face scan, thumbprint, drug test. You can't work unless Homeland Security says you can. No judge, no jury. It's like no fly, no buy a gun. I mean, they're making it where they are God. They are the rulers. They are Joe Stalin. And if Joe Stalin, if Uncle Joe doesn't say that you're okay, you can't work. I mean, this is hallmark of hardcore tyranny. We've got to hold them here and push them back.
Yep, and they're doing it through corporatism, through the big business and big government working together to keep us down. If they can regulate businesses enough, then they can put handcuffs on them and make them do what they want. And
well, that's like the Senate bill written by Big Agra to shut down local farms and ranches.
Yep, exactly.
Continue. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I mean, that's why it's critical to get involved locally, because we can actually see the changes. We can actually show up to City Council today. On the agenda are public surveillance cameras that are going in downtown.
Homeland Security grant.
Yep, exactly. That it's taxpayer money at the.
I remember 15 years ago they said the cameras are only for traffic, and then they admit, and for government and police. The Threat Fusion Center's going in. We're face scanning. We're tracking your cell phones in real time, your credit cards. It's all illegal.
Yep.
But they just do it.
Yep, it all ties in together. It all goes back to the police state. They're implementing it step by step by step, and it's all in the name of security.
Yeah. You don't want fluoride in your water? We're going to do it. You don't want us to take your baby's blood at birth illegally? We're going to do it. You don't want us to face scan you? We're going to do it. You don't want us to put our hands down your pants? We're going to do it. They're trying to break us.
Yep, that's exactly right. And another thing we need to focus on is making these commissions that are appointed by City Council actually have some teeth to the resolutions, to at least make it so that this resolution has to go up onto the City Council agenda. I mean, they demonstrated that they don't care what their own environmental board says, when the environmental board said we need to investigate the practice of fluoridating Austin's water. That was in the end of 2009, and the City Council has still done nothing. When every City Council meeting there are people there testifying that we want fluoride out of our water, that it is unsafe. We don't know what it's doing to us. It's costing us so much money unnecessarily, and the City Council can't even tell us really why they think it should be in there. We should be making them prove to us that they should be paying $750,000 a year to poison us.
Absolutely. And Heather, we're going to put it up on screen. Here's an example, and it just happened in Arizona, statewide. It's happening here. Houston votes to turn off red light cameras. It's our community. Government, you don't get to blow stuff up anymore and then pose as our savior. We know you're crooks, okay? Your low-level, dumbed-down minions may not know it. We know it. But, there's mainstream news. We'll put it back on screen real quick. Houston votes to turn off red light cameras. We're the people, okay? We run the country, not you, because you got a uniform and a gun. Get it through your head. And the city council crooks up there stealing all the money. I'm telling you, man, I am tired of it nationwide. I'm going to skip this final break so we have more time with Heather Fazio. Fazio. Tell us about what's happening at the city council, how folks can get down there. You don't have to pre-sign up, do you, because it's an agenda item, right?
No, well, tomorrow it's a meeting for representatives of organizations that oppose this. We're meeting with the staffers of city council to talk to them about potentially demanding that they draft a resolution similar or identical to the one that was just passed by their appointed Austin Airport advisor.
Okay, but separately, people need to sign up to go speak in the Citizens Communications, what, next week?
No, I think that there must have been a misunderstanding. Tomorrow there's a meeting scheduled with staffers to discuss the resolution.
No, but I'm just saying in the future, because I was just watching the newscast, they said you were going to be at city council. I'm saying in the future, we need to just get citizens, period, down there on the fluoride, the Death Camp Coordination Center, Threat Fusion Center, on the blood-sucking, warrantless blood-sucking, on everything.
Yep, and the way you can do that is you go to the City of Austin website and you find out the schedule for a city council meeting 2 weeks prior. On the Thursday, 2 weeks before that meeting at 9 a.m., you call 974-2210 and you tell them that you would like to sign up for Citizens Communication. You'll have 3 minutes to talk about whatever you...
And notice, used to, you could just go sign up there. They make it harder and harder. First it was sign up 1 week before, then 2 weeks. Now it's going to be on a blue moon, when the Easter Bunny twinkles, every 17 millennia, you'll be able to speak to the... And when doctors and scientists go and speak to them about the fluoride, they just sit up there and laugh like arrogant, pus-filled maggots. The key here to all of this is you put them on notice about the fluoride and the fact that there's uranium and radium and all of that's on record, and lead and mercury. And when they don't respond, you personally sue them. When those bags of maggot pus, and I'm sorry, that's what they are, sit up there and laugh at you, when you jump through hoops to speak to them and scientists come and speak, you sue them for putting chemical weapons in the water. When they don't respond to your tort letter, you go after them. You get aggressive with the scum. I'm sorry, go ahead.
The best thing that if you really do want to get active, if you're on Facebook, join the Texans for Accountable Government page, and we will be sending out notifications on when there's action items. When you can, we'll give you the phone numbers. Here's what to call. Tell them how you feel. We'll be sending out notifications.
Well, more than telling them how you feel, I'm for suing them.
Well, then you're...
listen, I told folks to sue over this, taking the blood secretly from babies. And it was my listeners in Minnesota and Austin taking them down. And again, I'm just saying strategic attack info war. It is criminal for them to be putting, as you said, and paying millions of dollars overall every few years to put the poison in the water.
Well, let us not forget we have a criminal injustice system. We also have a lot of work, activism that needs to go on to the judicial branch also. I mean, we're going to be asking them to...
No, you're doing a great job. I'm just frothing. Yeah. Thinking about the video I saw of Dr. Conant a few weeks ago.
Oh, I know.
And the city council's talking and laughing. You go ahead, doctor. And he's like, scientific report, studies, deadly doubling of cancer. Here's this report. You got this top toxicologist expert, and they're just laughing. Well, good. They're assaulting us. They need to be brought to justice. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, you're absolutely right. And we have to be vigilant. We have to be paying attention to everything going on. We have to get active. You have to make those phone calls to their offices, because I call them up and have people been calling about this. Yes, you can let the dogs off now, but that's what we need to keep doing. We need to keep pressure on them. Call them about anything going on in the city.
Yeah, I mean, look, we have what, 8% turnout for these elections. If the listeners of this show in Austin, we're on 1330, 590, 90.1, just in Austin, if the listeners of this broadcast started voting, started running for office, started getting involved, in the first year or two, it would just educate everybody else. Then you'd all win. We could remove these creatures, remove their fraudulent voting machines with a write-in campaign, with a petition, type deal, getting it on the ballot that way to have paper ballots to remove them. We can remove these arrogant creatures.